everyone, Fox is here and I'm bringing you my weekly wrap-up. This is going to be the wrap-up for the week between March 26th and April 1st, and I have 2 graphic novels and 1 audiobook to talk about, so let's just get started. This past week, I didn't read as much as I hoped I would. I only finished 2 graphic novels, and they're both by the same author. It is Sarah Anderson, and those 2 books you probably have seen pictures from all over internet, especially on Tumblr. Her series is called Sarah's Scribbles, and the first book is Adulthood is a Myth, and the second one is A Big Mushy Happy Lump. I immensely enjoyed both of them. There are basically no any specific plot. Every single page is just a short story, almost like a meme, and they're just adorable. Her drawing style is very cute, and it's black and white, and it's just making fun of, you know, everyday life, stereotypes, what it means to be an introvert, and all of those little cute things. I can totally understand why her artwork is so popular in social media, especially on Tumblr, just because it's such a thing on its own. Absolutely adorable. I really enjoyed both of her graphic novels. I think I enjoyed personally graphic novel number 1 more, Adulthood is a Myth, mainly because the second one also includes small comments from the author herself, and for some reason that did not really sit well with me, even though I do appreciate her telling us some stories about how she likes you know, stealing her partner's, I'm not sure if it's boyfriend or husband, her partner's sweater, and how she likes to wear sweaters. And I really enjoyed it, but for whatever reason, I just wanted to see her artwork, and I didn't really want any comments because I kind of wanted to piece all the stories together myself. Nevertheless, I gave both graphic novels 4 stars. I would probably say that the first one is more like 4.5, and the second one is like 3.75, like close to 4 stars. I don't know, I just really enjoyed both of them. I can totally get it why they're so popular. However, it's just I couldn't give them 5 stars because there were just some things that, I don't know, I wouldn't say it didn't sit well with me. It's more about personal preference, and even though I found all of them super cute, not everything was relatable, but the ones that were definitely relatable are the ones about buying books, because we have all seen those, I'm pretty sure, and just, yeah, that's my life, people. Google it. And the last but definitely not least was the audiobook Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. You're probably wondering, Fox, but isn't that a graphic novel? Yes, it is, and I actually have it here on my shelf, but I found out about, I think a month ago, that this graphic novel was turned into an audiobook, like full performance, full cast audiobook, and I got so excited because I really liked Nimona. I read it about a year ago, maybe a bit over a year ago, and I gave it 5 stars. It's an amazing graphic novel, fantasy, magic, a girl who's a shapeshifter, and she decides to become a sidekick to one of the villains. And it's just like, it's so magical and very funny and very cute, and I just love that graphic novel. And when I found out that it was turned into an audiobook, I obviously jumped at the opportunity to listen to it, because seriously, Nimona is an audiobook? That's amazing. First of all, I was very curious about how they're going to turn plot of the graphic novel, which is obviously quite visual, into something that has to be translated into an audio format. I was very curious about that. The audiobook is not very long itself. I think it's about less than 3 hours, like 2.5, closer to 3 hours. And it's a full cast performance. We have an amazing Jonathan Davis who voices Balthazar himself. He does an amazing, like, he's a Blackheart, he's the villain, and he does an amazing job. And as a matter of fact, I found that my perception of the characters has changed slightly, even though I know and I liked Blackheart a lot in the story. I think the way Davis voices this character really brought him to life, because he sounds less villainous and more kind with Jonathan's voice, which I absolutely loved. Rebecca Soller voices Nimona, and Mark Thompson voices Sir Goldenloin, and I kind of liked Goldenloin in a graphic novel. Obviously, he comes off as very pompous and very arrogant at first, and I think Mark does an amazing job, and I'm just playing with his voice because Goldenloin sounds very opposite of Blackheart, and Blackheart sounds like a good guy, and Goldenloin sounds like a very snotty villain, and it's so much fun. Nimona is amazing as well. The adaptation to audio is done very well, and the audiobook also features different sounds as well as original music. I think it all brings much into the story. It's quite interesting to listen to. However, while listening to it, and I was just listening to it doing some coloring and some commuting, I felt as if I really wanted to have a graphic novel in my hands to kind of flip through it and add a visual to the audio. Actually, Nimona would work very well as animated feature film, and I think it's just like the combining the visual with the sounds would make it absolutely superb for big screen. However, just listening to an audiobook made me super happy, absolutely super happy. I'm still a bit sad about the fact that one of the scenes that I really liked at the very end, and that scene didn't really have any words, so it was just mostly just like an image. It was not translated into audio, which is fine. I totally get it. Just for me, it was kind of like a little drawback when it comes to audiobook. However, I gave this audiobook still 4 stars overall, more like 4.5 stars, and 5 stars for performance. That's for sure. Performance was amazing, and I'm absolutely in love with Jonathan Davis right now. I listened to 2 audiobooks by him, and it's just, he does such an amazing job. Absolutely in love. If you love audiobooks and if you liked Nimona, I do recommend that you check it out, because it just brings the story to life. When I was reading the graphic novel, I liked Blackheart way more than I liked Nimona. I felt that Nimona was very impulsive and even aggressive, and even though later in the story we do understand why, and there is quite a valid reason behind it, however, she sounded a bit juvenile, very childish in many ways. But when I started listening to an audiobook and the way the actress was playing with the voice, it made me sympathize with Nimona quite more, and that is an amazing job. So yeah, 5 stars for performance, 4.5 stars overall for this production. This is it. This is all I have read and finished this past week, but I also want to mention a couple of books that I'm currently reading and really enjoying. And the first one that I have here is actually Ontology of Mostly 10-Minute Plays. This was kindly sent to me by Playwrights Canada Press. And this is edited by Rebecca Barton, and this is a collection of very short plays by Canadian playwrights, very diverse in nature and topic, very diverse when it comes to writers' backgrounds, and it's just so good. There are so many plays in here. I think there are about 24. Yeah, it's about 20, maybe a bit more. About 20 plays in here. They're all very good. As you can tell, I'm 2/3 into the book. I think I have about 5 or 6 plays left. They're all very good. There were some which were not very much for me personally in terms of the plot, but I really enjoyed everything that I have read so far, so I cannot wait to finish and review it. Another book that I'm reading is My Sister Rosa, and I have read only 2 chapters so far. I have seen this book on BookTube a year ago. I think it was released first in Australia and UK, and I was waiting for it to be released here in Canada, and it came out finally in November of last year. So I picked up my copy at the library, and 2 chapters into it, and I'm very much intrigued and hooked. So this is a story, this is a YA contemporary, kind of like a horror type of story or a thriller, because it's about, it's told from the perspective of a 17-year-old teenager, and his little sister is obviously a psychopath. So his task, the only thing that he's trying to do pretty much most of his life, is to keep her out of trouble. And 2 chapters in, and believe me, she was already starting some stuff. It's just like, I was hooked immediately from the very first page. I kind of knew that I would be hooked, but it took me by surprise. Hopefully it will continue like that, because I mean, like, only 2 chapters, as you can tell. I barely started this book, and yeah, I'm super excited about this one. This is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye! Today is a bad hair day, but let's ignore it. At least I have a makeup on. Adulting, people. Adulting. Ooh. It is 10 a.m. and I'm filming because I have lots of stuff to do today. Her voices Nimona, and Mark Thompson voices Sir Golden Law. I cannot pronounce his name. Golden Loin. Ambrosius Golden Loin. Rebecca Solar voices Nimona, and Mark Thompson voices Sir... Okay, this is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very...